Hello, our esteemed viewers, and welcome to our top-notch education consultancy programs. We have been discussing the set books in preparation for the examination that is ahead of us, that is KCSE, that is coming in the month of October. And we believe that you teachers out there are preparing our students for this examination. That is why we have organized for these revision sessions so that we help you also to prepare our students. Now, I would like to still discuss the Samaritan. And as we had said the other day, we are trying to track the characters in the Samaritan. These characters will help us to understand the text. And remember that the background information that our students will be writing in their essays come from these characters, and therefore we need to know the background. We have talked about Bembe, and you were able to track the character called Bembe. And this morning, we'd like to talk about another character called Ted. Ted is actually the Secretary, Department of Health and Environment in Maracas municipality. So he holds a very senior position in this municipality. Again, when we meet Ted for the first time, he's not even aware that there is a Samaritan application in town. And he says that he cannot raise meaningful amount of money if they are accused and taken to the courts. And therefore they would have to look for other means to get the money, because right now they do not have that kind of money. It doesn't have that kind of money. Now he agrees that they must set aside some money if this thing gets to the courts. If the accusation about their corruption gets to the courts, then they would have to raise some money to take care of the investigations, to take care of the lawyers, the prosecutors, and the judges that would actually be handling their case. So from that particular perspective, we're already aware that he is someone who is corrupt, if we have to use the word, because he doesn't want to use the money from his own pocket, but he would want a situation where some money is approved from the municipal account to bail them out, just in case that these Samaritan app accusations escalates into what we call the court cases. He says that they help Mayor Mosi get elected, and they can also get rid of him. So I think this is part of the blackmail to make sure that Mosi approves the budget that would give them the money, just in case that this thing escalates into the courtrooms. Now we meet Ted in the Sky Room again at the Madingo Golf Club, and together with Honorable Ramdai, the Deputy Mayor, Honorable Simwa, and Honorable Ted, they're together, and they're discussing about how to go around the case, or how to build that motion of no confidence on Mayor Mosi. And he's made his own discovery. And this also brings out the theme of division, a house that is divided, that can never stand. Because he talks about the house and how it is composed. And he says that he was on the phone all night trying to mobilize the aldermen and also the councillors, so that they buy the idea of the vote of no confidence on Mayor Mosi. But during his phone calls, he realized that there are a lot of divisions. And the first division in the House are these members who are never decided. He calls them the indecisive type. And he says there are quite a number, and Honorable Ferreira or Mr. Key is actually their leader. These are people who cannot decide on their own. There are people who will have to decide for them to do something. So if they have to mobilize the House to pass a vote of no confidence on Mayor Mosi, then they will have to deal with this category that he calls the indecisive type. Now there is also another category that he calls the majority, and he calls them the headless type of leaders in the House. And they cannot, so they support one of their own so strongly. Like, these people are aligned to most of them, and they believe that the leader has to think on their behalf. They cannot think. It is the leader to think, and once the leader has thought for them, then they follow suit. And in many occasions, he makes some joke that these people cannot even make a decision to go and pee. It is a leader that is going to decide that for them, but he calls them the majority. And again, he gives examples of such, and he says people like Basdeo and that kind of stuff actually part of this kind of group of people. Then he also talks about the entrepreneurial type of leaders in the house. And these are leaders who are there to make money. And therefore, they will also have to deal with them because their intention is always to be entrepreneurial. They are called political entrepreneurs, and their intention is to make money. So they will have also to deal with them because what matters to them most is their stomach. That means they will not vote for the side that does not give them money. They can only vote for that side that will give them the money. Then he talks also about the independent people-minded category, this type that listens and serves the people, but they are very few. So when the vote of no confidence comes to the House, they will have to deal with these people. We again meet Ted at the chambers of the principal judge, where Jaden called them for a one-on-one talk to save their skins from the Samaritan. So this is also another opportunity where we meet Ted. And he says that Madame Nicole is a tough woman. Yes, he accepts that Madame Nicole is tough, but very beautiful. Of course, you know, he's got that feeling towards Madame Nicole. And we also meet Ted at the Sagrada Secondary School together with his fellow leaders. They are there to ask for apology. And of course, it is at that level that the Anti-Corruption Commission comes and arrests them. But again, I want to highlight some things about Ted. Now, Ted has never been a serious person, even as a leader. In fact, if you look at what Mayor Mosi tells us at some point, that Ted actually gives tenders to his kinsmen and those who are related to him. And when there was a budgetary allocation was made to build hospitals or health centers, Ted went ahead, gave these tenders to relatives, friends, and family members. And finally, instead of building hospitals, they ended up just putting some sheds on the site where these hospitals were to be built. And in fact, Mayor Mosi makes a joke that Ted ate a whole hospital. So that can tell you the levels of corruption that is in the life of this person. So that is a Ted. That is Ted for you. And he's never been serious. We are told that at one point he was a DJ. And when he was a DJ, what did he do? He used to pirate the songs, the artistic work of other musicians. So he's never been a straight person from the word go. So you can even see he's been given a very critical area, that is the area of health, but he's not even able to do it because he was a former DJ. And what does he know? He doesn't know a lot of things, and that is why he engages in corruption. Tenders are given to his relatives, and at the end of it all, he eats a whole hospital. So that is Ted for you, and I hope from this perspective, you should be able to understand the character called Ted. So when you're discussing him, I think one of the areas that you can discuss him is to bring out that division that is in the house at the Maracas municipality, because it tells us the groups of people that are there. So that brings out the idea of division. So you can discuss it when we talk about the question of a house divided cannot stand. You can also discuss that when it comes to corruption. Someone who can eat a whole hospital, someone who gives only tenders to his relatives and friends, then you know the kind of person that you're dealing with. It's also someone who pirates. You can discuss that under corruption, who pirates other people's music. And that tells you that Ted has never been a good person. Of course, he's also very incompetent, because when the book begins, when people are discussing serious issues of the Samaritan, Ted is relaxed, is always on his phone and doing totally nothing. And actually he's not even aware that the Samaritan is in town. So that tells you the level of incompetency the level of incompetency that revolves around his life. So thank you very much, and I hope that my discussion on Ted has helped you to understand him even better.